Good morning, folks, and welcome back to my podcast. This is George Nathaniel for you. As I always do, I come back with very simple topics that relates to our lives. Well, what is my topic for today? The topic for today is beyond the ordinary. Well, before I get to my topic, let me share some advice that I have received over the years. Well, over the years, I've been receiving some very simple advice that is to live my dreams, going beyond the ordinary. So, when I relate to the topic of today, beyond the ordinary, I also relate to the advice that I've been given all through the years. So, what was the advice all about? The advice was very simple. My parents always said, live your dreams, and it has to be beyond the ordinary. Well, they also mentioned that beyond the ordinary is not being extraordinary, but making the best of the available opportunities and resources over any given time. It was a very simple but clear advice. Making the best of opportunities over a given time. That is actually going beyond the ordinary. Well, it's an advice that I've been taken and an advice that I'm growing up with, an advice that always relates to our lives at any point of time. So, this subject is very special for me in a way. So, relating to the subject of beyond the ordinary, what are the things that we can relate to when we talk about beyond the ordinary? Well, looking over our lives, we can relate to maybe a few things like living our dreams. We all have our dreams over all spheres of life. We have a dream over everything, different variances. We have a dreams not just for ourselves but for others as well. So, living our dreams is a very important subject. Next thing is exploring over given moments. Every given moment is different from the other. So we need to explore over given moments in our lives, making the best of it. Scaling over new landmarks. Well, scaling over new landmarks can mean multiple things. It can relate over multiple things. At any given point of time, we are always scaling over new landmarks in all our efforts, in all the good things that we do, in all the progress, in all the development. And what has taken us beyond the ordinary? So, folks, if we relate to these very simple points, that is, living the dream, exploring over given moments, scaling new landmarks, and what takes us beyond the ordinary. If we relate over our personal, professional, over our lives in our contribution towards our wellness, we will see that life is beautiful and it always has something new in the offering in any given point of time. But how much are we actually making out of it? How much of the opportunity are we actually exploring? And how are we going beyond the ordinary? So, folks, as I always say, I'm very generic in my discussion because each one of us are different and each one of us have different situations, each one of us have different goals, each one of us has a different vision. So I'm very generic in my discussion, but what I can say is as we sit down and spend the precious moments for ourselves in understanding and reflecting over our personal lives, our professional lives, and over our contribution, maybe we can relate to a lot of things that we can do to take us beyond the ordinary. The subject line says a lot. The subject line offers a lot. But what is most important is understanding the subject line. It's not about being extraordinary. So, beyond the ordinary is taking over our goals, going beyond our goals, Beyond the ordinary is about understanding how much more we can do, exploring a bigger, wider, I would say, waking up to a new dream every new day. So, folks, as we sit down and relate to our own lives, let us understand, let us relate, and most importantly, let us put everything into action, as in how much more can we do in our lives, how we can make our lives even better over our professional and personal lives, and our contribution. Let us relate how we can progress over every new day, how we can take up opportunities over every given moment, and how we can live special lives. Folks, my subjects are always very simple and they're very generic. I hope you listen to them very carefully and relate to your lives and make a list of all the doables, make a list of all the achievables, and make a list of all the new landmarks that you can scale. I hope you like listening to my podcast. This is George Nathaniel. I also have my own blog website, which is georgenathaniel.net. My podcasts are available across all platforms. Do log in, listen to my podcast, come to my blog site, read my blogs, put in your impressions, leave me your suggestions, make your request. I try my level best to come back with your request, which are simple and relates to all our lives on a generic platform. I wish each one of y'all a wonderful time and period ahead. Keep up the progress, keep up the wellness, and most importantly, take yourself beyond the ordinary and live your dreams. Live a beautiful life. Make lives beautiful. Let your contributions add a value in every moment of life. I wish you all a wonderful time and period ahead. This is George Nathaniel. Thank you so much.